Hello, Rebecca here. Welcome back to my simple country life. We have blue skies for a hot minute. We've had lots and lots of rain, and it has really kind of gotten me down. But the sun's shining, birds singing. It's got me feeling a little better. So this is just some update on the St. Francis garden bed. Finally got some plants in it, not as much as I would like, but it's a start. Hope you'll enjoy. The time has finally come to start planting in the St. Francis garden. Native plants that I've been collecting, and I'm just almost giddy. We got the dirt. My husband on Saturday brought the pile of dirt over and dumped it, and then most of Sunday morning we spent spreading it out. We tried to work together as a team. I did what I could with a rake and a hoe, and some stuff had to be shoveled, especially towards the back. We do have one little mound that didn't get quite leveled, but I'll worry about it later. It's going to be raining quite a few days in a row, so that'll help, I think, level some of it out. I'm going to move. I ended up not putting the water feature on that concrete blocks I set in there because I didn't get them too level, and then we got the dirt in there, and I never. So anyway, I'm just going to leave that pot there, and I'm probably going to put the little fountain thing on this side, so I'll have a barrel on each side, and I may get just a excuse me 16-inch square block like the one St. Francis is sitting on over here, piece of just a concrete paver to set the fountain on over on this side. But on this side we have the bottle tree my husband bought me, and I'm going to do all blue bottles on it. So of course today I had to go to the store and buy some various wine, and I think one thing, a sake that was in a blue bottle. So when my sister comes to visit, she'll help me drink those. But we have the Missouri Maidenbush. We have Traffic. That is the Beautyberry. And that's a Rosebush, a wild rose. So those are going to go over in this corner. And then here we have one of the redbud trees. On this side we have the other redbud tree, and in the middle we have the magenta crabapple, which I hope will live. It's not looking too great right now, but I have my little sit-upon mat, my gloves, I have some garden sleeves to help protect me from the sun, biotone starter, and of course a measuring stick so that I can try to space these out. And you can see that back corner kind of sinks down, so like as I have extra dirt, I'll be throwing it in this corner to help fill that up a little bit more. And I asked my husband if this pole over here, I think that used to be a satellite on top, but I asked if we could take that gray metal thing off and put a birdhouse up there, because I thought it would be a real cute spot for a birdhouse. And I'll cut all that branchy stuff off of there. But anyway, so I'm going to get started planting in this new bed, and I'll check back with you later. Okay, there we have the first of the trees planted in. You can mostly tell where they are because of the wet spots on the dirt where I watered them in, because they're all a little more than twigs. But we'll get a little closer over here. There's one eastern redbud. If you'll remember, we got 3 eastern redbuds from the conservation department when we went to the plant show. Only 2 of them made it. So that's one of the eastern redbuds. This is a magenta crabapple that got knocked over. It was doing really, really well, but then got knocked over in a storm, and now it's not looking so hot. I'm hoping being in the ground and having some biotone starter on the roots will help it. And then plus the days of rains that's coming. And then there's St. Francis and the puppy. I still got to find a kitty cat statue. There's the other eastern redbud. And now let's come over here and plant some shrubs. And there's my 3 little native bushes planted, and they're easier to see because they've got some green on them. Here we have the Missouri Maidenbush, and it gets 2 to 3 feet tall and wide. We have the American Beautyberry, and it gets 3 to 6 feet tall and wide. And the prairie rose, climbing prairie rose, and it gets 6 feet tall. It didn't say how wide, but I don't know if you can see that little trellis that's behind it, but we have a little trellis. And I moved the bottle tree over to the corner. That was pretty easy to transplant. So anyway, that's how far we've gotten. And I will say this dirt, it's good dirt. When it's damp, it's easy to work with and crumbly. When it's dry, like it is on top, it's like a rock. So I think I'm going to wait to plant the perennials after some rain, because it'll just be easier to work with and get them settled in well and have the dirt packed around them well, because it'll be crumbly instead of like rocks. So anyway, I'm going to stop here and I'll bring you back out whenever I get ready to start planting the perennials. Quick art garden update in amongst planting the native garden bed. The Miracle on the Hudson Rose is blooming for the first time. The Summer's Romance Stackies, or lamb's ears, is blooming. Both sections. This Miracle on the Hudson Rose isn't doing much just yet, but if something happens to it, I'll probably replace it with the yellow knockout rose. It has a similar bloom habit as the Miracle on the Hudson, and I think it would look nice there, but hopefully that one will grow and make it. And then let me give you an update on the barrel we planted. Okay, whatever this was that I thought might have been dead is coming back, and I'm thinking it is probably a salvia. But look how much growth it has put on in a week. That is looking lovely. So we had 3.5 inches of rain in the last 24 hours. So this is greening up. I may need to trim some of the branches that have dead stuff on them, but that has really put out some green leaves with all the rain. So, and that looks like that's maybe put on some growth. This one over here hasn't really put on growth, but is looking good. They're really liking being in the ground. So, probably this afternoon I'm going to let it dry out a little bit, and I'm going to get out here and start planting some of the smaller potted native plants. So I just wanted to give a quick update. It is Thursday morning, and this will probably be maybe about try to run it a few more days as I'm doing planting, because I don't want to rush. I want to make sure I put stuff where I want them to go. So anyway, there's a quick update for Thursday morning, and I'm very pleased that that's made a comeback. It is Friday afternoon, overnight, and this morning we've gotten another almost 2.5 inches of rain, 2.25 inches of rain. I didn't get much done other than getting some of the plants moved out to the St. Francis garden yesterday afternoon. And then today I've just been kind of waiting for it to dry up a little bit. Don't know if I'm going to get anything planted this afternoon. We've got friends in town and going out to dinner, and everything is just still such a muddy mess. So I think I'm probably going to end this video here. I'll wait for it to dry out a little bit more before I get the perennials planted in the St. Francis bed. If you have any questions or comments, please leave those below, and I will answer as I can. And thank you for watching. Thank you for stopping by, and y'all come back.